Hi, my name is Peter Brown. I live in San Francisco Bay Area in the United States. I'm 50 years old, and I'm just making this message for anyone looking at the ANS REWIRE recovery program. I just wanted to tell everybody about my recovery after approximately 10 years of being ill with chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. Some of my worst symptoms were severe environmental allergies, severe fatigue, flu-like symptoms, irritable bowel syndrome, nausea, extreme cold hands and feet, difficulty with speaking, visual disturbances, electrical jolts throughout my entire body, severe insomnia, very dizzy and off balance. I also had a feeling in my body like my whole body was vibrating with electricity. Basically, the symptoms were some of them would come and go over time, but at my worst point, I pretty much had all of these symptoms. I was diagnosed with orthostatic hypotension and low cortisol and small intestine bacterial overgrowth, pain, and of the doctors basically said like unknown origin. I had severe pain in my hands, and I use my hands. I'm a musician, and I also work with my hands for a living. I'm a furniture repair specialist, and I got to the point where I was unable to open up a door. I couldn't turn the key in my ignition in my car because of the severe pain in the joints in my hand. And I also had severe pain in my shoulder, one of my knees, and I had severe pain in my foot to the point where I was on crutches for 6 months, and all the while I was seeing orthopedic surgeons, and I was going for physical therapy, and I was seeing an acupuncturist, and nothing was working. And along with that, I came severe allergies to cigarette smoke. I used to be a musician. I used to play in smoky nightclubs all the time. Never bothered me at all. Now I couldn't even walk past somebody outside without my throat burning and my sinuses burning. And then I also had chemical sensitivities. I would go out to dinner with my family, and I would drink the water, and I'd say, "Do you guys taste that? This water's hard. It tastes like chemicals," and nobody else could taste it except me. Then my daughter would put on nail polish with the windows open, and I'd be like horrified. I could smell it from 500 feet away, and it would make me dizzy. It would give me a headache. I literally almost feel like I was going to faint from the chemical and gasoline, all those things. I had often had trouble thinking clearly. I had a severe brain fog. The last 2 years of having chronic fatigue syndrome, I was unable to drive a car. I ended up having to sell my business. I owned a furniture repair business. I was no longer able to do that. My wife had to drive me to all of my doctor's appointments because I was unable to drive, and she also had to fill out all of my paperwork because I was unable to. It's almost like I just couldn't comprehend what was written down, and I just couldn't. I barely could even write my name. But I actually lost so much weight that most of my muscle tone had also gone. At the end of all of the testing that I did, I finally ended up going to Stanford Medical in California to see a specialist there. I had a CAT scan, MRI. I had to swallow a pill camera, all kinds of imaging and blood work. And finally, they eliminated all the major things that they thought could be wrong with me. And the doctor basically casually just told me that he said I had chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. And I was happy to hear that. It was actually kind of a relief to get some diagnosis, even if it didn't really seem like a very good diagnosis. And then after he told me that, he turned his back and he started walking out of the room, and I said, "Hey, what's going on? Where are you going?" And he said, "I'm going to be honest with you. There's nothing we can do for you. They just told me that there was no treatment, or no treatment that they said would actually cure chronic fatigue syndrome or fibromyalgia." And then he just walked out. And that's when I started, now that I actually had a diagnosis that I believed to be true, it gave me something to work with. And so with the very little energy that I had, I did spend time every minute I could scouring the internet trying to find some kind of either complete cure or partial cure for chronic fatigue syndrome. And that's when I came upon ANS REWIRE. Actually, before I found ANS REWIRE, I found CFS Unraveled, and I think I watched all the videos in about 2 or 3 days of the recovery stories, and that really boosted my morale, because I was actually, at this point, I was suicidal. I'd been bedridden for almost 2 years, and I just felt like I was a burden to everybody. I wasn't able. I basically couldn't even take care of myself, let alone I have two children and a wife. So I was willing to try anything, but I didn't want to get taken in some ways, because I had lost a lot of money over the years on trying different alternative and mainstream approaches to recovering. What I liked about ANS REWIRE was that Dan seemed to be more like a scientist, I guess, if that makes sense. I liked the that was number one. He didn't seem like he was flaky or overly. I'm not against people being spiritual, but occasionally I have run into doctors who start just waving their hand over me and telling me that they think they're going to guess what's wrong with me because of my energy field or something like that. And Dan seems to be very the program very based on science. And the other thing I like about Dan is he actually had chronic fatigue syndrome. So I don't think anybody can really understand what it's like to feel the way people feel when they have chronic fatigue syndrome unless you actually have it. I know now that I don't have it, I actually almost can't imagine what it feels like, and I'm happy for that. So when I started the ANS REWIRE program, I was basically bedridden, maybe 10% functional, and after approximately 6 months, I'd say I was pretty close to 80%. Where I was able to go out and do food shopping and some basic housework and helping to take care of my kids again, which was great. And now I'm 100%. I'm back to. I'm actually feel like if it makes sense, I'm better than 100%, or better than what I thought was 100%. I now I have started my own business. I own a furniture repair business, which is physically demanding and mentally demanding. And I'm working fairly long hours. I'm also doing errands, food shopping, taking care of my family, playing tennis with my 13-year-old son. And I can go now for about an hour and a half to 2 hours on the court. And I feel good after it. The next morning I wake up and I'm not sore. I feel refreshed, which is something I hadn't felt in probably closer to 15 or 20 years. So now that I'm recovered, I feel great. I feel like I have my life back. I feel like I'm now a good husband and a good father, and I'm able to volunteer in the community, carry on conversations with people where at my worst point I was not able to do that. I I'm now working on becoming also a part-time professional musician. I am currently marketing my music to film and TV, in addition to also owning my own furniture repair business. So I feel like I have my life back. My family thinks it's basically like almost bordering on a miracle. I'm present again in their lives. I'm able to contribute and able to help my kids with homework, able to be supportive to my wife, whereas before she was basically taking care of me. So it feels great. I had, over the last 10 years, I had lost touch with many, if not most, nearly all of my friends that I had from when I was younger and in college. And now I'm actually planning on doing some traveling to catch up with people, and I have people coming out to visit me, and it's just great. I almost forgot what it felt like to do things socially, and I'm glad to be able to do that again. So my experience with the ANS REWIRE program has been nothing but excellent. Dan has been there when I've had the random question or two. He's been very supportive. The videos in the program are extremely concise, and the information that I've gained through listening to the videos and doing the practicing, I feel like it's not just changed my life as far as having chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia, but I also feel that I've learned to control my thoughts a lot better, which is something that I was almost not aware of before I started the program. I'm able to, not go to certain, sometimes people, you reliving certain things that happened in your past. I did have a rough childhood, and now after doing this program, I'm able to step back from that. I can still realize that it happened, but I don't seem to be dwelling on it as much. I can think about something, and it's not as intense. I'm able to control my thoughts a lot better, and that's just another added bonus. And recovery, what it means to me is everything. I literally felt like I had nothing to live for. I felt like I was in a semi-coma. I was aware that there were people around me, but I wasn't here. I was so far gone that I literally thought I was going to die. And I never thought I would be here today endorsing this program. I thought that getting a full recovery was something that other people did, and not me. And I just want to let anyone else who's watching this know that if I could do it, you can do it.